Good morning, meteorologist Bob here for you with today's tropical update for Friday, August 5th, 2011. Well, we don't have really too much out there today. I say that kind of loosely. We still are watching the remnants of Emily, a pretty broad, elongated area of trough of low pressure now. Hurricane Center gives us 60% chance of possibly redeveloping in the next 48 hours. To me, that's kind of high. I think they're being real generous with Emily. I give her probably around 20 to 30% chance. It's really going to be hard to get this thing going again. There's really no signs of any kind of circulation this morning at all. But they will become a little more favorable tomorrow for development, especially once it gets away from land, which is that eastern Cuba area there as it moves up towards the Bahamas. So there is that little bit of possibility. It's not going to blow up into a big hurricane, so no worries there. But you just never know with these kind of systems. But again, I am to the point where I really don't think it's really going to come back to life. I just give it that small chance. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. Looking at the visible this morning, first visible shots, again, you really can't find any kind of circulation center here. If something were to pop and start to spin and maybe develop, it could be anywhere in this region right here. North of Cuba here, could even be as far east as maybe in this area here near the Turks and Caicos and southeastern Bahamas. I mean, really anywhere in this area could be up for redevelopment. So, and again, the only thing that would do, if it were to develop farther west, is that it could ruin some of your Sunday plans, late Saturday, Sunday plans for the coastal east coast of South and Central Florida. Nothing to batten down the hatches with, but it could spread, a little more rainfall your way, and it could be a pretty breezy day. So, wouldn't be the best of beach days pretty much, and that'll really depend. If it's something forms farther out to the east here, really, it's just going to move, bother the Bahamas a little bit, and then out to sea we go. Okay, so that's what we have today. Again, nothing really showing up this morning. Again, a little cluster of thunderstorms here in eastern Cuba, and that is about all. Putting some color on it, you could see really not much there to see. And again, if something were to develop, it would be right in this area here. Looking at the bigger picture here, East Coast, just to show you what we have. Frontal system here starting to stall out. I'm not going to make much inroads farther south, unfortunately for the hot south here. The big heat high has pressed farther south, so we are really heating up here across the Gulf Coast states. Some record highs here where I live in North Florida yesterday. We'll do it again today. Really, really hot weather. Poor Texas, not a drop of rain anywhere to be found as the beat goes on for them. So what will happen if Emily did try to come back is that, we see this ridge trying to push just a little bit, push in, ahead of this front here. So it would try to back a little farther west and then boom, quickly get shunted out to sea as this trough will continue to be located in this area, probably through the early part of next week too. We're going to continue with this pattern here across the East Coast. Shear, and this is the funny part with Emily, actually shear is better than it ever was. I mean, she just couldn't keep herself together long enough. The stronger shear has shifted eastward, so we're in that little spot here where if we could get a low-level center going, it would be favorable for development. And I think that's why the National Hurricane Center is holding that little bit of hope out. Although, again, 60% is pretty generous. But, we had her at 100% and for what, 2 days. So a little generous. But, again, there's going to be that little window where the shear is lighter, and the possibility is there. 850 vorticity this morning, not looking that great, of course. I mean, if you saw it, she's not looking great, and, that's to be expected. And you can see really nothing in the Atlantic Basin right now to even be concerned about. Model runs, everybody likes to look at them, so we'll show them here. If Emily were to come back, some of the 0Z ones were initialized, and of course initialization means everything when you're looking at this. And who knows, like I said, if it were to form, it could be anywhere in this area. So you almost got to take these with a grain of salt. But it shows you what the pattern will be. It's going to be a north-northwest and maybe a little bend. Like I said, that ridge is trying to build in ahead of that front there. You know, try to push it a little farther west and then quickly out to sea. So wherever it forms, that's going to be the general trend. Some of the 12Z models that were just run, the BAM suite, they've initialized it north of Cuba here. But again, you could throw a dart at any of this area here to see. But anyway, that's just showing you where Emily would go if it were to develop. And then again, intensity models, if it were to develop, they do show it could get up into that tropical storm area. For the fun of it, we'll show you that HWRF model once again. It seems to just love Florida. It wants to ruin Florida's weekend here. And you could see it as a tropical storm, pretty strong tropical storm, getting close to south central Florida and then out to sea. And again, I don't see this happening as far as how strong it is. And again, just to reiterate, if Emily were to develop, it could just, maybe ruin your Sunday plans for South Florida, Central Florida, with a little extra rain, a little extra wind, little breezy conditions, and that's about it. As far as your surfers go across Florida here, and looking pretty good, pretty decent swell. Not going to be, like there's a hurricane out there, but a nice, decent swell. Better than nothing this time of year. So if you are a surfer, I would get out there and enjoy yourself this weekend. It should be pretty decent. All right, looking ahead. That's what we want to do, right? We want to look ahead. Now that Emily is, just about done or almost done or maybe done, we're going to look ahead. Now the GFS, very interesting. The last few model runs is spinning up this system coming off the African coast early next week. And you can see this is through all next week here, tracks it westward through the central Atlantic. I'm just going out a week. That's as far as I'm going to go with the GFS. But it does show you that this, between the Azores high and then between Mr. Bermuda high out here, pretty much no escape route to the north. So again, not to beat the old drum dead again, but the pattern that is developing, and we saw with Emily, is to bring these things farther westward. And if anything does develop, that could be trouble for the islands and for the United States. Again, long way off. Will this develop? Will it not? I mean, this is the time of year to start looking out to the Cape Verde Islands. So a lot of times these initial systems don't really get going too well out here. Still, water temperatures are just about getting there. Still some dry air out here. So, but it could be one of those that has a pretty strong spin to it, and then gets going as it moves farther westward. And again, something to watch next week as this pulls off to the west. Just to take a quick look, as you see the remnants of Emily here, GFS doesn't really do much with it, and that's how it's been. Euro still does not develop Emily. Now the Euro model in the extended, really not much out here. Kind of like a weak area of vorticity out here, but not as strong as the GFS is at all, with this system out here. Actually, it kind of weakens that first initial system that the GFS spins up, and then spins up another system about 10 days from now. So again, the Euro, not too excited with that system out there, but again, something to watch. If we do look out to the eastern Atlantic right now, we saw this wave near 30 west come off. It's kind of weakening, and this is what will happen to these. It's still early in the season, but again, we want to watch these for down the road development and just keep one eye on them just to see what happens. Another tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa. The one we're watching, or the one that the GFS is developing, is way out here, and I could kind of show you. We only have half a picture here, but you can see this morning, this is it right here, pretty healthy along the African continent here. So this is the one we're going to be watching for possible development next week, right in here. Well, that's it for my update today. If Emily does happen to come back to life, I will have an update sometime tomorrow. If not, my next tropical update will be on Sunday or Monday. Have a good and safe weekend. Again, if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Robert, ACANFRIO. And you can follow me on Facebook to get some of the latest updates on the tropics. Have a good day.